This video is a tutorial on how to replace the diverter valve or diverter motor in an Asko dishwasher model 3251. This may well work for other Asko models as well, but I've got instruction on how to do it just for the 3251. And here is a information sheet that may be helpful to others out there. It gives the 1-800 number for Asko. Here's the dishwasher model that I'm going to be working on today. And here, importantly, here's a parts supplier. There's not that many places that carry Asko parts. And here are some part numbers that may be useful to you as well that supersede the OEM part numbers that came on the dishwashers when they were new. So I'll show this list again at the end. And also importantly, these are prices, approximate prices for these parts at the end of 2021. I'm sure those prices will change over time. Anyway, I have ordered and received this bottom part number here, part number 441283, and it arrived in the mail today. It came with a little hokey instruction sheet, but it's basically all the parts that you're going to need to replace the diverter valve. What were the symptoms that led to me needing to do this? I noticed that the dishes on the bottom rack were not getting clean in the dishwasher, and I did some testing where I ran the dishwasher and I'd open up the door mid-cycle, and I noticed that only the top arm was spinning and the bottom arm was still. There was no washing going on down below. So basically, anytime you put a bowl or anything facing down in the bottom, there was nothing to spray it from above to get it clean. So everything that was facing down was dirty. If you had vertically arranged plates in the silverware, those generally will get clean just on the overspray from the upper arm. So it's a good dishwasher. I mean, with one arm tied behind its back, it's actually doing a pretty good job of cleaning the stuff on the bottom. But not good enough if you have any pots and pans or any big bowls that you want to face down. There's no moisture getting up into the underside of those at all to clean them. But anyhow, we did several test cycles. I tried changing it from upper spray arm to lower spray arm in the cycles, and nothing goes. The bottom arm didn't spray at all, and all the water was getting sprayed out of the top. So anyway, this is my effort to get this situation rectified with a new part here. So some of the tools you may need: hammer and a flat edge screwdriver, as well as a little a Torx bit. I don't know what size this is, but it's pretty small, and you want it to be on a short handle because you want to open up the dishwasher, and we're going to get right into it here. I've already pulled this thing out from underneath the counter here, and there's a couple of screws that need to get removed on the inside here. So I've pulled out the drawers, pulled out the spray arm off the bottom and the top so they're not in the way, and this is all going to get replaced. Everything you see here in this gray plastic here is going to get replaced. We're going to be reusing this. I have no idea what that even is, but it's going to need to come out. There is a Torx screw on the back of this. Let's get this direction changed. No idea what this part is. I'm not a dishwasher repair person, but I've taken this thing apart enough times to know that this has to come out in order to. So I got the screw out of there. Just slide this piece out. And we will set these aside on the counter for reuse later. Don't lose those. So it's a stainless steel screw. And there is, I believe that's the only screw that's in here. Okay, so I pulled off this cap. I believe there's a replacement cap for this in the kit that came with this, but we'll set it aside anyway. We're going to pull the dishwasher out, flip it on its side here to access the back side of the diverter valve and free it up so that we can pop this thing out here. So we're going to close this up currently. And so that we don't scratch the floor here, we put down a pad. In this case, it's an old sleeping bag. Okay, and And first things first, there's the drain line here. I'm going to disconnect that at the top here. Well, we don't even need to pull the screw all the way out, but we just want to be able to disconnect this from the dishwasher. All right, free that up. Okay, all important, we will unplug the dishwasher. We're going to turn off the water supply. We don't need to disconnect it, we just need to get these things out of the way. There are 4 Torx screws that hold the back panel in place. Get those out. And 2 on the other side here as well. And the only reason that I'm putting this video together to post online is there's literally nothing that I could find online that showed how to do this. There's some generic, some Whirlpool, other brands out there, but there's nothing specific to the Asko. So, all right, so we've got the lower rear panel unscrewed here, and we just want to disconnect the little slot here from the drain hose. And we just really want to get this thing out of the way while we're working on the dishwasher. All right, so let's take a look inside here. The diverter valve that we were looking at from inside the dishwasher, this is the flange nut that sucks it down tight into the dishwasher so that it's watertight. And here is the motor unit for the diverter valve, and this is in all likelihood what has failed and needs to get replaced. Apparently it drives an actuator that changes the water going from the upper spray arm to the lower spray arm, or both. Don't know exactly how it works, but anyhow, this thing is prone to failure. So in order to get going on this, need to disconnect a few wires here. So there's a plug-in, and I have gone and labeled this just to make sure it gets installed the right way. I took a Sharpie and wrote down on the side so that when I put it back in here, I don't know if it's even possible to install it backwards or not, but just want to make sure that we get it put in the right place. There is a connector on this motor here, and we just want to be able to get these things out of the way. We'll pull that up, and installation is just the reverse of all these. There's so that's 1, 2, and then there's a ground wire over here. And in order to get this unit out, we need to be able to we need to disconnect this hose. Now, I have in the past I've had to pull this motor out in order to get this solenoid got replaced. So I've got another video posted on YouTube about that, but I ended up opening this clamp and replacing it with a standard hose clamp, and I think that we're going to end up today having to replace this other fixed clamp as well with a regular standard hose clamp. Yep. And the whole reason for getting this undone is the plumbing's all connected via this hose, but it's also we need to be able to get it out of the way. So in order to facilitate getting this thing out of the way, we're gonna pull this old grommet here on the motor, and that way we can rotate this thing out of the way, and you see it just flexible hose is broken free from here, so we'll be able to pull this whole unit out of the way here now. Now my first stab at trying to get this thing off, there's these little knurls on here that you can put a screwdriver on and tap on them, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to get this thing to loosen up the right way until I discovered that there's some quick clips here on the side. I'll point it out with a screwdriver here, and they're gray color. There's one on this side, and there's one on the other side down below the hose that we just disconnected that you can't quite see here, but it's identical to this. I'm just going to try pulling on this with my finger here. All right, so I've loosened up this one right here. And come around to the other side. And this one's hard to see down here. There's a bunch of wires in the way here. Those 3 wires that we undid. All right, so well, let's see if we can. Yeah, hopefully we can edit this video too. I'm going to shut this off for just a second here. We're going to take a screwdriver and put it on here, and we're going to pound this thing out. If you're looking down on the dishwasher from above, this would be a clockwise rotation that we're going to tap this. We'll use a hammer and we'll tap that and loosen it up, and we'll be back here in a minute for part 2.